So Bathos project is a proof of concept where we wanted to see how far we can push the limits of creativity and production. So if you look at the designs from the Bathos universe, they're all very, very detailed and very, very complex, which is something I personally love. So it was a very difficult project to achieve. But if it's easy, everybody would do it. That's why we're doing it, because it's difficult. Every single piece of Bathos design is a complex, detailed statue. And we're only making a very limited run of these statues is because it's a proof of concept. Like for Ren example, we only made 125 pieces. So Bathos is a sci-fi fantasy set in a distant future. It tells a story about the struggles of Ren, which is our main protagonist, and how she is struggling to fight the system. So there is an ongoing war between God and the angels. Okay, now what the angel needs is the pure blood of the humans, which is in Bathos, and the humans are slaves. So there are very, very specific human blood that is required for the angels to create a weapon to go against God. So this is what's happening in Bathos. So the bounties of Bathos is actually the bounties that is paid up to the bounty hunters when they actually get a sample of good blood. Now I will not elaborate further on the story. We can read more about the story in books that's going to be coming up. Now, Sorrow is part of the Sons of Connor. So there are 4 in the Sons of Connor, which is Croaking, the leader, and then there's Sorrow, and then after that there's Necrosis and Jaeger. Now Sorrow has the ability of using water. She's more of a water element type character, where she usually dwells in water and works with water. She was recruited by Croaking at the edge of her life. So she was in a big battle before. She was fighting one of the giants and she got badly wounded. She lost her right hand, both her legs, and she was at the edge of her life. So Croaking came and recruited her. That's why her right hand is actually a robotic prosthetic that's attached to her back, and she controls that hand using her remaining part of her right hand. Unfortunately, half her body was not functioning. Her legs were completely torn off, so her legs were also replaced by robotic prosthetics. Sorrow is a very, very strong-willed character. She's very petite, she's very small, but she makes up for her size with her attitude and her desire to lead. When I was working on Sorrow, we were looking at the design of Sorrow, and her design is actually influenced a lot by water elements because she's a water element type character. We use a lot of influences from elements that are in conjunction or reminds you of hydro and water. So looking at her silhouette is very distinctive. If she's wearing her helmet, it's very distinctive that she has this fin on top of her head, and that actually reminds you of a fish. And then if you look at the elements on her mouth, she has a very big breathing apparatus on her mouth, which helps her breathe underwater if she needs to go to underwater. And then her color, she's got this very unique color that GMTCE did. It's not really quite blue, it's not really quite green, it's very hard to capture, but it's definitely unique. On top of that, according to the narrative, she completely lost her right hand, and then she also lost her legs. So we designed her hand, her prosthetic arm, to be controllable with her missing right arm. So this design I think is quite unique. The hand comes from the back of her and to the front. A lot of people don't catch that, but it's very subtle. However, the design is extremely complex, just like everything else in Bathos. So her sculpt itself is actually very sleek. So this is where the hydrodynamic comes in. In comparison to Ren is very squarish. Sorrow is very sleek and very round and smooth. So she's very curvaceous, and she's quite petite. All in all, I think the design of Sorrow is very unique, just like any other Bathos line. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it released.